In the realm of the Wild West, Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday are inseparable, akin to a timeless pairing like guns and holsters, whiskey and shot glasses, or cowboys and horses. Wyatt Earp, portrayed as the hero and steadfast lawman, takes center stage in the narrative, remarks Gary Roberts, renowned for his 1997 biography, Doc Holliday, The Life and Legend, delving into the real-life John Henry Holliday. Roberts emphasizes that while Wyatt Earp commands attention, it is Doc Holliday who injects vibrancy into the tale. But Doc is the individual who adds color. People like the guy who tells it like it is and doesn't back down and stands up for right. But the person who is the most intriguing is the charming, surly, quick-tempered, loyal, educated one. In this video, we embark on a journey into the mysterious life of Doc Holliday, uncovering 10 fascinating facts that may reshape your perception of this Old West legend.
Earp wasn't Doc's only friend. In the vast expanse of the Wild West, Doc Holliday emerged as an eccentric character, a Southern gentleman whose penchant for gambling set him apart from everyone else. Educated and often misunderstood, his unconventional lifestyle didn't always endear him to the locals. Holliday's brooding demeanor, perhaps a consequence of his prolonged battle with tuberculosis, was further complicated by the solace he sought in alcohol and, later, the pain-relieving elixir, laudanum. Yet, Doc's complexity extended beyond the stereotypical image of a loner. Amidst the harshness of the frontier, he cultivated enduring friendships with a Colorado newspaperman and saloon proprietors scattered throughout the West. Holliday always kept in touch with the people he knew growing up in Georgia. As fate would have it, as Holliday lay dying in a Colorado hotel room in 1887, nearly penniless, his gambling friends and saloon owners helped pay his bills. Unlike the scene in the movie Tombstone, Earp was not there at all when Holliday died at the age of 36. In the poignant final moments of his life, Doc Holliday, on the brink of mortality, reportedly made a seemingly straightforward request to the nurse attending him, a shot of whiskey. However, met with a resolute refusal, he cast a glance at his bootless feet, finding amusement in the irony. The nurses said that his last words were, "This is funny." He always figured he would be killed someday with his boots on. As the clock inexorably ticked towards 10 a.m. on November 8, 1887, the enigmatic figure of Doc Holliday breathed his last at the age of 36. This was a man who had ventured west years earlier, fully aware that his days were numbered. He often said that his end would come from lead poisoning, at the end of a rope, a knife in his ribs, or that he might drink himself to death. 9. Doc was a real doctor. Holliday was born in Griffin, Georgia, to Henry Burroughs Holliday and Alice Jane McKee Holliday. His lineage traced back to English and Scottish roots. Holliday pursued his education at the Valdosta Institute, where he received a comprehensive classical education encompassing rhetoric, grammar, mathematics, history, and languages. Primarily Latin, with some exposure to French and ancient Greek. In 1870, at the age of 19, Holliday left his home in pursuit of education in Philadelphia. On March 1, 1872, at the age of 20, he achieved the milestone of earning his Doctor of Dental Surgery degree from the Pennsylvania College of Dental Surgery, now part of the University of Pennsylvania School of Dental Medicine. Remarkably, Holliday graduated 5 months before reaching his 21st birthday, and the school delayed issuing his degree until he reached the minimum age required for dental practice. Subsequently, Holliday moved to St. Louis, Missouri, where he worked as an assistant for his classmate A. Jameson Fuchs, Jr. However, within 4 months, he relocated to Atlanta, joining a dental practice. Initially living with his uncle and family, Holliday intended to establish his own dental practice. Several weeks before Holliday's birthday, dentist Arthur C. Ford advertised in Atlanta papers that Holliday would serve as his substitute during Ford's attendance at dental meetings. Later, upon arriving in Dallas, Holliday teamed up with Dr. John A. Segar, a friend of his father. Their collaboration earned them recognition at the annual fair of the North Texas Agricultural, Mechanical, and Bloodstock Association at the Dallas County Fair. Winning awards in multiple categories, including Best Set of Teeth in Gold, Best in Vulcanized Rubber, and Best Set of Artificial Teeth and Dental Wear, they operated their office along Elm Street between Market and Austin Streets. However, this partnership dissolved on March 2, 1874. Holliday then decided to open his own clinic at the Dallas County Bank at the corner of Main and Lamar Streets. Doc was reputed to have killed more than a dozen men in various conflicts, but many historical researchers have concluded that, contrary to popular legend, Holliday only killed 1 to 3 men during his lifetime. Holliday's life and colorful personality have been portrayed in many books and portrayed by famous actors in many films and television series. 8. Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday weren't that close. Indeed, it's a fact that Holliday and Earp maintained a friendship, standing shoulder to shoulder in Tombstone, Arizona, during the well-known 1881 gunfight at the OK Corral. Their initial encounter, however, occurred a mere 4 years earlier while traversing Texas. Despite occasional intersections along their journeys, it's essential to clarify that they were not inseparable companions. However, after the shootout at Tombstone, and when they completed their bloody revenge against those who ambushed Earp's brothers after the OK Corral, Holliday and Earp decided to leave each other. There are even indications of a strained relationship in Albuquerque a few years later. According to a letter authored by former New Mexico Territory Governor Miguel Otero, an incident unfolded at Fat Charlie's The Retreat restaurant in Albuquerque. During a meal, when Holliday said something about Earp becoming a damn Jew boy, Earp became angry and left. At the time, Earp was residing with influential businessman Henry N. Jaffa, who served as the president of New Albuquerque's Board of Trade. Jaffa was Jewish, and based on Otero's letter, Earp, while at Jaffa's house, honored Jewish tradition by touching the mezuzah upon entering his house. According to Otero's letter, Jaffa told him, Earp's woman was a Jewess. Earp's anger at Holliday's racial slur may suggest that the relationship between Josephine Marcus and Wyatt Earp was more serious at the time than is commonly known. 7. The reason Doc came west. After initiating his dental practice, Doc Holliday soon learned he had contracted tuberculosis, likely from his deceased mother. His Mexican adopted brother was also diagnosed with the disease and later died, so he may have caught it from him as well. Doc sought counsel from multiple physicians who delivered a grim prognosis, advising him to relocate to a drier climate for a chance at prolonging his life. In October 1873, Doc Holliday packed his belongings and journeyed to Dallas, Texas, the terminal point of the railroad at that time. His motivation to head west wasn't just health-related. Instead, it may have stemmed from his short temper and trigger finger that got him into trouble by forcing him to leave his home in Georgia. There are controversial rumors that Holliday was involved in the shooting on the Withlacoochee River, Georgia, in 1873. The first account was given by Bat Masterson in his 1907 doc file. Accordingly, when Holliday was 22 years old, he and some friends went to a swimming hole on his uncle's land and discovered it had been occupied by a group of Black American soldiers. The soldiers were present as part of the federal government's occupation forces in the South, according to Susan McKee Thomas, daughter of Doc's uncle. Thomas S. McKee, her father recounted the incident. They rode in on the Negroes in swimming in a part of the Withlacoochee River that Doc and his friends had cleared to be used as their swimming hole. The presence of the Negroes in their swimming hole enraged Doc, and he drew his pistol, shooting over their heads to scare them off. Papa said, "He shot over their heads." However, Masterson's story was different, claiming that Holliday pointed a double-barreled shotgun at them, and as they exited the swimming hole, killed the two young men. Some family members deemed it prudent for Holliday to leave the state following this incident, but others within Holliday's family contested these accounts. Historian Gary Roberts searched for contemporary evidence of this event for a long time without success. Similarly, Alan Barra, an author focusing on Wyatt Earp, also searched for evidence corroborating the incident and found no credibility in Masterson's story. 6. Doc had a slight build. Doc Holliday, like most of his male Holliday cousins, was about 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighed about 160 pounds. Virgil's wife Allie said so when she first met him. Doc had blonde hair, platinum blonde, when first meeting him, not black hair as most surviving and probably edited photos show. Wyatt described him as long, lean, and ash blonde. Several photographs of uncertain origin are often attributed to Holliday, with some claiming they were taken by C.S. Fly in Tombstone, while others assert they originated in Dallas. Notably, Holliday resided in a rooming house situated in front of Fly's photography studio. Facial features can be deceptive, with similarities observed between individuals who may appear radically different from certain angles. For this reason, most museum staff, knowledgeable researchers, and collectors require precise provenance or a documented history of the image. Among authenticated images of Holliday are his graduation photo from the Pennsylvania School of Dental Surgery in March 1872, at the age of 20, and another from Prescott, Arizona, in 1879, at age 27. These images are clearly sourced and credited to Holliday himself. In contrast, several other images of Holliday, including a tombstone photo from 1882 and another with a bowler hat, lack provenance and face authenticity challenges. Some other photos have been heavily edited or are of unknown origin. 5. Doc didn't have a death wish. Holliday was afflicted with tuberculosis, referred to as consumption during his time. The likely source of the illness was his mother, who succumbed to it. Throughout much of his adult life, Holliday grappled with the disease, frequently embarking on journeys to locations he believed could alleviate its symptoms. Holliday's actions alone angered Roberts, who said he wished he had died sooner. He is portrayed in most accounts as a fatalist, somebody who knew he was going to die from the disease and, in a sense, gave up on life so that he didn't care whether he lived or died, Roberts says. I think it was certain that he knew that he was going to die eventually from it. He knew enough about consumption that he knew he would not have a long life. I expect that explains some of the melancholy and some of the cynicism that you see from him. But there's too much evidence, too many instances where it becomes very clear that he wanted to live. Holliday's extensive travels, spanning from leaving Georgia to venturing into Dodge City, Kansas, Las Vegas, New Mexico, Leadville, Colorado, Arizona, and later Butte, Montana, underscore his quest for a more comfortable living environment. Even before the Leadville shooting, Roberts noted that Holliday had begged law officials and friends to intervene to stop it all, expressing a desire to live. His journey eventually took him to Glenwood Springs, Colorado, famous for its supposedly restorative hot springs, where Holliday breathed his last. 4. Doc's persona and complicated stories. Throughout his life, Holliday was known by many of his colleagues as a feisty, even-tempered Southern gentleman. In a newspaper interview, Holliday was once queried about his conscience, to which he reportedly replied, "I coughed that up with my lungs years ago." Big Nose Kate, his enduring companion, recalled Holliday's reaction after the OK Corral gunfight. She recounted his return to the room, sitting on the bed and weeping, expressing, "That was awful, awful," as he grappled with the aftermath. Bat Masterson had several interactions with Holliday during his life, and the two men disliked each other. Their tolerance for each other is only due to their friendship with Wyatt Earp. In an article, Masterson depicted Holliday stating, "While he never did anything to entitle him to a statue in the Hall of Fame, Doc Holliday was nevertheless a most picturesque character on the western border in those days when the pistol instead of law determined issues." Holliday had a mean disposition and an ungovernable temper, and under the influence of liquor was a most dangerous man. Physically, Doc Holliday was a weakling who could not have whipped a healthy 15-year-old boy in a go-as-you-please fistfight. According to Masterson, Holliday quickly pulled out his gun in response to the threats. In a March 1882 interview with the Arizona Daily Star, Virgil Earp told the reporter, "There was something very peculiar about Doc. He was gentlemanly, a good dentist, a friendly man, and yet outside of us boys, I don't think he had a friend in the territory. Tales were told that he had murdered men in different parts of the country, that he had robbed and committed all manner of crimes, and yet when persons were asked how they knew it, they could only admit that it was hearsay and that nothing of the kind could really be traced up to Doc's account." 3. I'm your huckleberry and you're a daisy. The 1993 film Tombstone significantly contributed to shaping Holliday's eccentric persona, largely due to Val Kilmer's iconic portrayal of Doc. Kilmer's delivery of two memorable lines, especially the declaration, "I'm your huckleberry," when confronting the antagonist, Johnny Ringo, played by Michael Biehn, has left a lasting impression. According to Roberts, the phrase was popular during that era, conveying the meaning, "I'm the one you're looking for," or "I'm the man for the job." In a pivotal moment later in the film, Holliday once again uses the phrase, though Roberts notes that this particular scene lacks historical validation. It's worth noting that Kilmer titled his recent memoir, "I'm Your Huckleberry." During the OK Corral confrontation, witnesses reported that Frank McLaury gained a momentary advantage over Holliday and taunted, "I got you now, you son of a bitch," pointing a gun at him. Holliday's historically accurate retort, "You're a daisy if you do," essentially translates to, "Good for you if you do." In some versions, it is reported as, "You're a daisy if you have got me." According to Roberts, the meaning remains consistent. McLaury did not have the upper hand, and Holliday emerged unscathed while McLaury met his demise. Doc Holliday's reputation as one of the most fearsome characters in the Wild West still endures. Over the years, actors such as Kirk Douglas, Stacy Keach, Val Kilmer, and Dennis Quaid have portrayed the character. Roberts noted that in most depictions, Doc Holliday stole the show. 2. The Love Story of Big Nose. Kate and Doc Holliday. Big Nose Kate encountered Doc Holliday in a fitting locale for two Wild West legends: a saloon. Their paths crossed at John Shancy's saloon in Fort Griffin, Texas, around 1877. Kate was drawn to Holliday's audacious sophistication, while he was captivated by her alluring beauty, intellect, and independence. Both shared fiery tempers, for better or worse. Over the years, their relationship ebbed and flowed. They quarreled, parted ways, possibly married, reunited, and quarreled again. Holliday once complained to Wyatt Earp, "You know, I had to quiet her, Wyatt," after a spat with Kate. "I just hit her gently over the head with the butt end of my gun, had to quiet her." Still, they were a beautiful couple in the lawless days of the Wild West. During an arrest in Fort Griffin, when Holliday faced charges, possibly for stabbing a cheat or violating gambling restrictions, Kate showed her mettle. She discreetly ignited a fire in town, diverting attention. Then, brandishing 2 pistols, she confronted Holliday's guards and orchestrated his escape. Riding on stolen horses, they reached Dodge City, vowing to forsake prostitution and gambling, promises that proved short-lived. Fatefully, Kate introduced Holliday to lawman Wyatt Earp and his brothers, a decision she later regretted, lamenting, "The Earps had such a power I could not get Doc away from them." By 1880, Holliday and Wyatt Earp found themselves in the turbulent Wild West town of Tombstone, Arizona. Meanwhile, Kate resided nearby in Globe, running a hotel. Despite the tumultuous nature of their relationship, she awaited Holliday in his room after the legendary gunfight at the OK Corral. However, they broke up again when, in a drunken stupor, Kate played a role in implicating Holliday for murder. But when the dentist died of tuberculosis at the age of 36 in 1887 in Colorado, she decided to return to him, showing her deep feelings for him. 1. Doc was a mama's boy. Doc Holliday was really close to his mother, and some might say he was very spoiled by her. Her passing had a profound impact on Doc, particularly considering the substantial time she dedicated to him. It is said that she devoted extra attention to him during his youth due to a speech impediment and other health issues he faced. Regardless of the cause, their bond remained strong. The unfortunate circumstance of her succumbing to consumption, a situation he likely witnessed, added to his distress and likely lingered in his thoughts when he, too, fell victim to the same ailment. Other interesting facts you may not know. Margaret Mitchell, famous for Gone with the Wind, was related to Doc Holliday. Notably, Doc passed away on November 8, 1887, and it's intriguing to observe that Margaret Mitchell, born 13 years later on the same date in 1900. Doc harbored romantic feelings for his cousin Mattie Holliday, who later became a nun. Despite her religious commitment, the two maintained a correspondence throughout their lives. In Doc's eventful life, marked by numerous instances of self-defense, he adopted a unique approach, targeting his assailant's shooting arm to disarm them and inflict a non-fatal yet painful wound. Although Doc eventually died penniless at age 36 in Glenwood Springs during his short life, he owned a dental clinic, a saloon, and even a silver mine. At one point, Doc shared living quarters with Frederick Walker Pitkin, who would later become the governor of Colorado in 1879. Especially when there was an order to extradite Doc to Arizona to face charges of murdering Frank Stilwell. Pitkin refused on the grounds that the paperwork had technical errors. Doc's journey to Glenwood Springs from Leadville via the perilous Independence Pass lasted 18 hours on a stagecoach, a daunting undertaking for someone as sick as he was. Doc decides to go to Glenwood Springs, not to soak in the hot springs, but to find Indian medicine in the steam cave, the last hope to cure his advanced tuberculosis. In a quest, perhaps for absolution, Doc sought the counsel of Father Downey, the founding priest of St. Stephen's Catholic Church, known to be a friend to the dying man. Contrary to movie portrayals, Doc did not kill Johnny Ringo, a member of the Cowboy gang. In fact, Doc's longtime mistress, Big Nose Kate, ran away with Ringo for a period. These lesser-known facts about Doc Holliday offer a deeper understanding of the complex and fascinating personality from the Wild West.
Please like and share if you find the video content interesting and useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below so as not to miss the upcoming interesting videos. Thanks for watching.